Hey Pilates teachers, it's Linda Lippin here from the Pilates Teacher Mastermind and Linda Lippin Pilates. I wanted to talk to you today about an interaction that I saw in an online Pilates group, not mine, where a teacher asked a very kind of valid question about a client that she's working with. And immediately people just started to not only kind of attack her, but also attack each other in the comment threads. So when one teacher came out and said, perhaps this is a client that would do better with strength training and weights, and it could be in your best interest to let her have access to training like that. Another teacher came out and just basically said, you shouldn't even call yourself a Pilates teacher if you're saying that somebody should go lift weights, because Joseph Pilates never lifted weights, which basically is wrong, but that's a whole nother story. And I have to tell you that more and more these days, as I'm in these supposedly friendly Pilates discussions, I realize that people don't really have set boundaries for how they interact online and present themselves online. And there really isn't what I would call any kind of safe space for good Pilates education for teachers online. And I think you guys know that that's why I created the Pilates Teacher Mastermind, right? To have that kind of environment where actual learning and education happen, where people can ask their questions, where they can get real answers. And in light of that, I actually want to give an answer to this person's question. And basically her question was, and I think it's a common occurrence, that she's working with a client, a woman who is pretty strong, likes to muscle her way through the exercises, and tends not to feel anything unless she does something like 15 or 20 times. So she either ends up working on a super heavy spring or ends up doing like 5 times the recommended repetitions of an exercise. And I actually have a few things to say about this. So number one is, it sounds like the client is in a way controlling the session. That she's kind of going through a similar set of exercises every time. That might be kind of her comfort zone of exercises that you've given her, or what you've learned for a beginning to intermediate client. And she doesn't feel like those are quite cutting it. So she's kind of just not listening and adding to her own sessions by upping weight and upping repetition. And that's not great, because that actually changes the teacher-student dynamic of the session. I don't kind of let my clients do that. My clients pay a lot of money to see me. They know that I'm a trained professional. I know what I'm doing. I want them to trust me, but I also want them to listen to me. And there are times when I totally flag them when they say, can't I do this on a heavier weight? No, actually, you can't. But if you want, I'll give you another exercise later on that's going to work the same kind of muscles and really, really challenge you. Okay. There are times when you can take a newer client and put them into a slightly more advanced exercise, simply so they can see where things go and the kind of strength that they need to build up in between A and D, that there are steps B and C that they need to get through, and that Pilates is all full body exercise. So it's not just about, oh, we're going to do arms now, or I don't feel this in my triceps, or my shoulders aren't working, or my legs aren't stretching, or whatever it is. Everything should feel like it's working in the entire body, with a focus on a particular area. Obviously, like pull straps and T on the long box involve the arms. There are some exercises like pull straps and T, actually, because they're relatively stable, where if you want to add weight to something like that, you can. It will be super challenging. She may not be working in the right muscles to begin with, but that, there are some where you can do that. But ultimately, you need to take control of that session back from your client, so that you can actually teach her and not just have her kind of throw herself around on the apparatus. I always say to my clients, you can throw yourself around on the apparatus yourselves, or you can do Pilates on your own when you're not paying for it, and not worry about it. But as long as you're paying and you're in the studio, you're going to listen to me, because that's why you're here. That's why you came. Now, The second thing is possibly putting this client into slightly more challenging exercises instead of allowing her to consistently up spring and up repetition. And the reason for doing that is that if you're going through, say, the full order, say the classical reformer, you need to be not so tired in all of your big muscles, big and small muscles, when you get to harder exercises like snake and twist, or all of the standing splits, all of the standing work, or the kneeling sidearms or swakate, right? Or all of that work. So there's a lot of super hard, super challenging work that needs to be done later on in the series, and some more advanced work. However, you can start to introduce your client to a little bit of that now and just show her why she needs to build more stability and mobility so that she can get through those kinds of exercises. Now, is it necessarily a bad idea to also recommend that this client might go and try some weight training or some kettlebell training or something that's a little more power oriented, since that's apparently how she likes to move? No, I think that's a great idea too. That doesn't have to completely replace Pilates, but it may give her that ability to, have a place where she gets to grunt and groan and really push something heavy. I love to do that, and I still love to do Pilates. So there is room for both. But have a constant conversation and constant reminder with your client of why she would be doing Pilates as opposed to anything else, and that she's paying you to teach her because I assume that she believes that you know what you're doing and that you have an idea about Pilates and about the body and how they can work together to help somebody feel and function better. But in terms of the online engagement, my friends, stop with the bickering and the infighting and yelling at each other online. That does absolutely nothing to help us serve ourselves and our clients, okay? We as teachers need to be feeling and functioning well so that we can help our clients feel and function well. And yelling at each other in online forums is not the way to do it, okay? Just not the way. Now, if you want to come over to a forum where we actually answer your questions, where the discussions that go on are non-confrontational, where if somebody posts stuff that is confrontational like that, I just remove it because there's just no need for that in my group. So come on over to the Pilates Teacher Mastermind and check out what we're doing. In the free mastermind group, there's tons of information. And then there is also a Pilates Teacher Mastermind VIP group where I'm doing workshops every single month, online question and answer sessions, lots of online resources, discounts, a healthy affiliate program, and just lots and lots and lots of great Pilates education going on. So I would love to see all of you over in the Pilates Teacher Mastermind. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.